up? Wax's Podcast, coming to you live, episode 17. I'm going to go back to beating that dead horse. At this point, the horse has already been incinerated. It's been reincarnated as a different kind of animal, and I'm now starting to beat that animal. But you didn't think that I would make it to fucking episode 2, much less 17. 17 weeks in a row I've been doing this podcast, and if you want to know why, I could answer it with one simple phrase. Because the podcast comes... Oh shit! I shouldn't hit the desk today. The podcast comes first, and what doesn't come first is my shock mount that holds my microphone on the stand. That thing's kind of fucked up, so I now actually have the microphone just kind of sitting on the table. So if I hit the table today, the microphone will probably make some awful noise that will hurt your ears. But thank you to Josh T. That new intro was by Josh T. Send in an intro if you want to send in your own version of the podcast jingle. Beatsforwax@gmail.com. I actually got multiple submissions for that this week. Unfortunately, I can't really play more than one a week. So now I have kind of like a stockpile of them. Thanks to everybody who sent me in a jingle. Shit, I don't know. Maybe we'll never go back to playing the original jingle unless everybody just gets tired of making their own jingle. Which they probably will, and we probably will go back to the original. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. And you know what? That's just going to be the theme of this podcast. We will see what happens, because I got a lot of feedback from people, and they say that when I try to plan the shit, when I have shit planned out, it becomes more boring, and they like it when I don't plan anything. So I'm taking that to the extreme today. As I sit here talking to you, I literally have no fucking clue what I'm going to talk about. So let's... Worked out good last week when I just kind of started talking about my morning. Last week I was talking about Starbucks. Speaking of that, somebody sent me a fucking hilarious clip relating to... I had never seen this movie before, but there's a movie called Role Models. And I don't remember the fucking actor's name, but he's the same guy who on that movie... what is it? Is it the 40-Year-Old Virgin, where they're like, him and Seth Rogen are like, you know how I know you're gay? Like while they're playing video games. Whatever that guy's name is, his name escapes me. But he's in a Starbucks, and he fucking goes off on that same concept I was talking about with you know, their fucking dumbass size names with tall, venti, and grande, and he took it like way further than I even thought of, you know, because I never thought of tall means large, but grande, which is Starbucks' medium, that means large in Spanish, and the only one that doesn't mean large is venti, which means 20 in Italian. So I can't really take that joke any further now, because he already fucking beat anything I would have thought of, or whoever wrote that fucking part. But I would recommend checking that out. I post it somewhere on my Twitter or some shit like that. Speaking of my Twitter, if you want to see something awesome, shout out to my boy Jeff Day Felice. Oh fuck, I don't usually say last names on here, but I'm not gonna edit it out. Sorry, Jeff. But Jeff is actually a personal friend, not just a listener, but he sent me a clip of DMX doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which was fucking awesome. So if you want to check that out, my Twitter is @BigWax. Go follow me and check out my fucking tweets, because they have stuff like that, DMX singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What the fuck am I talking about? I started to say something, and then I went off on a little bit of a tangent. Oh, I was going to say... Just start with talking about my morning. I woke up pretty late. My boy Joe has been over here basically every night for the past week and a half, and we've been working on my album, mixing it basically. So we stay up pretty late doing that. I can't believe I haven't had noise complaints yet. That's fucking incredible to me. But you know, he stays over here usually till like 2 or 3, and then when he leaves, I listen to some of the shit and think about what kind of changes we need to make. So I end up going to bed pretty late, so I've been waking up early. I've been going to get my morning coffee at like noonish. So I went to this place on the street that I often go, where they have acai bowls. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Acai is a Brazilian berry that is served like mashed up and super cold, like a frozen concentrate. And it's served in a bowl with granola and other various fruit. It's a very I don't know, it feels good to eat. Like it's like a healthy breakfast, and it actually cures your mild hangover, if you're somebody like me that often has a hangover. And it was delicious. So there's a lady that works there, the waitress there. Another reason I like to go there is because I like to look at her face. not because it's an attractive face, but for the exact opposite reason. She's one of those ladies that's like, that there's like a certain threshold that women who smoke cigarettes. I think in this case the chick was actually worse. I think at one time she probably did meth. But there's a threshold that women cross, men too, but women I think get it worse. When you can look at their face and you know that they smoke cigarettes. Like they don't have to actually be smoking. They don't have to smell like smoke. You can just look at their face. And with the not even that it's wrinkly, just the actual way in which it is wrinkly, you can tell that they smoke cigarettes. And when I look at her face, it just is another reason, another reminder of why I should quit. Once this album is done, I've already said, I don't know if I've said on the podcast, but my #1 goal in life, once this album is done, is going to be to quit smoking cigarettes. I'm putting it above everything else. Like my mom always says, without your health, you have nothing. And that's true. And I want to grow up to see my nephews, play Little League and shit like that and graduate high school and shit. I don't want to fucking die of whatever disease I might contract due to smoking cigarettes. Plus, it's fucking expensive and it's gross. It makes you always have to go outside at random times when you're in an inside situation, even though that's actually kind of nice. That's actually the one good thing about smoking cigarettes is the little 5-minute breaks you get to take where you just kind of go outside and reflect. It's actually a lot of times when I'm writing, I think like if I'm in like a studio-ish kind of setting, walking around with headphones or doing whatever I do, it's usually when I take the break that I think of what I've been trying to think of for the last hour or two. It usually just comes to my head when I'm taking a break. So thanks cigarettes for that. I don't think that there's a correlation mentally with that. I don't think it's like the nicotine makes your fucking brain more creative. I just think it's when you purposely get away from thinking too hard, you just think of shit. So that's another reason to go there. Plus they have the delicious but super overpriced, as everything is in Venice, California. Because I don't know why. It's kind of a yuppie-ish area, and I guess it's kind of a tourist area. So everything on a menu at a restaurant is always like $2 or $3 more than it should be, or would be if you went on the other side of the 405. So that was my morning, eating acai, and I often eat at restaurants around here. I get the table for one, and it's not even weird. Well, first of all, I don't give a fuck, but it's not even weird to have a table for one now, because your fucking smartphone is like your smartphone is like practically like having another person with you, with all the shit you can look at, with Twitter, with just the entire internet, with text messaging, with fucking, what else, like Instagram, words with friends even. Like, it's almost like you got a little fucking friend with you. And I was thinking today, actually, while I was eating my fucking fruity little breakfast, like, is it becoming like a dumb thing to ask a question? Like, the smartphone is so smart, that's why it's called the smartphone, obviously. It's so smart that any fucking information you could possibly want, you can find out by doing something with that smartphone, generally typing it into Google. But like, is the fucking act of asking a question now become this fucking dumb thing? Because like, I'm sure a lot of you have seen that website that's been out for a while, Let Me Google That For You. Like, EOM used to always fuck me up with that. Like, I'd ask him a question and he would just email me the link, and when you click on the link, it's like a screenshot of somebody Googling that word that you're asking about. But I don't know, that was just something I was thinking about. Maybe it's become this dumb act to ask a question, because every piece of information that you have that you would possibly need is at your fingertips. I actually think that that's going to affect, like, the younger generation. That's just going to affect the way people have conversations. I don't know. That's just a thought I had this morning. Another thought that I had the other day while talking to a friend of mine, another thought about smartphones, is how come when you get on a plane, they always tell you to turn your phone off. They're like, you have to have it off, not even in airplane mode, whatever. I guess that just means no Wi-Fi or whatever. But like, if your phone has to be off when you're on the plane, but they don't check it. A lot of people leave their phone on anyway, and they don't make it a big deal. Like, if your phone being on could actually affect the flight in some kind of negative way, if it could affect the computers or whatever flies the plane, affect the navigation system, affect whatever it does affect. I have no idea what that is, even though I could find out in an instant by simply Googling it on my fucking phone. What tangent did that go off of? Oh yeah, why don't they make like a more vigorous check for that? Like I don't know. You should have to like turn your phone in and they make sure it's off, because you know you can't just trust people to turn it off and then it's going to have some kind of negative effect on the flight. I mean, that's a very serious issue in my opinion. You're fucking thousands and thousands of feet up in the air, and you have these little devices that could somehow, apparently they must have some kind of effect on it if they tell you to turn them off. Shouldn't they be more vigorous in their inspection process? I don't know, just a random thought I had. Alright, so I don't really have any, like I said, I don't have anything planned. So what did I do after that? I came home. I answered the question. I answered a bunch of emails for the podcast because, as I said earlier, the podcast comes first. If you don't think I have other shit I could be doing, you're out of your fucking mind. I got tons of shit I could be doing. But I want to keep this podcast going because I think in the future it's just going to be a cool thing to have. I mean, I think it's cool now. But, once I really fucking get going with this shit, in 2013, I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling and shit like that, and I think it's going to be really fun to do the podcast like while on the road and shit like that. So I'm going to keep it going. Podcast comes first. It takes me a long time to answer all the questions that I get in the email department there. And, hours upon hours I sitting there and answer them. So I appreciate y'all's emails. Hopefully it gets to the point where I'll need to get some kind of little assistant to do that. I know that won't be as cool, won't be as personal, but if it gets to a certain after a certain amount of this going on, I might have to get some help. So I've been talking about nothing for 12 minutes. Is that a talent? Is it a talent to just fucking run my mouth? I don't know. I just do it because I live by myself and I catch myself talking out loud to myself all the time anyway. So why not record it and feel like I'm actually talking to an audience, Makes me feel like a little less crazy, I guess. Shit. I am definitely fucking, out of things to talk about already. Maybe I could do the call someone and fuck with them segment a little early this week, and that will spark some ideas. Let's see if we can do that. I'm gonna call someone and fuck with them real quick. Alright, let's do this call someone and fuck with them segment. I told you earlier that my boy Joe is mixing my album. I'm going to call him up and fuck with him a little bit, talk to him. He's actually a fucking interesting dude as far as life stories and stuff like that. I don't know if we're going to get into any of that, but maybe we'll just talk about the album and mixing it and what the mixing process is like, maybe what stuff he's done in the past. He's actually mixed Lupe Fiasco's last album. So he's not some guy I found off the fucking street. He's not some fucking bum! Because if you thought he was, he's not. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get Joe on the line. Come on, man.
Yo, what up, man?
Yo, what's up, dude? Hey, I got bad news, man. Remember how I got that 12-pack of Pacifico last night?
Yeah.
Well, I fucking ended up drinking the whole thing, and then I drank some gin after that, and I got real fucked up. And I got into like a blackout, and I didn't give a fuck, and I ended up fucking pissing all over the computer, and now it won't work.
Which computer?
Your computer.
Oh, fuck.
So now that
I mean, it's probably not broken. It's probably just like shorted out. I think you need to fix.
The thing is, after I pissed on it, I threw it out the window. It's fucked up, dude. How much did this thing cost?
I don't know, like $2.5 grand or something. But where's the hard drive?
I actually fucking took a shit on. I didn't do any of that shit, man. I'm just fucking with you. You're on my podcast.
Oh.
Did you really believe
it? You told me about this last night.
I know.
I know.
To the people listening, I actually asked Joe last night if he would be down to be on the podcast, and I even talked about, oh shit, well, I usually do kind of like a prank call sex in the beginning. And he's like, oh, and you said you fucked up. Now I'm going to know.
Yeah, I did say that.
The funny part is that you totally believed that I would do something like that.
I was like, yeah, that bottle of gin was pretty full.
Yeah, you've definitely seen me get the one night when Davey was over here when we were like working. I definitely drank a lot.
Yeah, but you know, not to the point of like blackout. I don't think.
No, not. See, I'm not that kind of drunk. I'm not the kind of dude that breaks shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
oh,
yeah,
we were even talking about that. Like, it's weird. Different kinds of alcohol will like make you do different things. Like everything but tequila is like fair game with me. Tequila's like, holy god.
Tequila makes you actually act crazy. Yeah, like sometimes it's the only way that I would ever get like violent would be tequila, I think.
Yeah, it always like brings out the aggression.
Yep. Yeah, man. I don't know. I can't picture you getting down on tequila heavy and trying to start fights. I can't picture that.
I haven't in a while. The last time I did, like, I was out at a bar with my buddy Ben, and I don't know. I just start like giving this guy shit for wearing a V-neck shirt. And I'm like, look at this fucking V-neck. And my buddy Ben was pretty drunk too, and he just hops on it right away, like, "Oh God, yeah, what's this guy fucking doing?"
We were talking
we were
talking shit last night about people that wear scarves in LA when it's fucking hot out.
Yeah, we were bone dry sober too. So what does that say about us?
To everybody who doesn't know, I'm sure it's not just LA, but it's interesting in LA because LA it's fucking sunny and warm, and people walk around with a t-shirt and a scarf, and it's just dumb as shit.
T-shirt, shorts, sandals, and a really thin scarf. That's probably designer made.
It's like, how fucking sensitive is your neck to temperature? I don't know. My neck just gets really cold when it's hot. I have like an opposite neck, temperature-wise.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing to do with a fashion statement.
Right. So, yo, maybe that's just like some hipster shit, some irony shit, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's irony. I think it's pompousness.
Right. What would be irony in the Alanis Morissette definition? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's like a scarf on a sunny day.
Wasn't that a lyric in the second chorus in that song?
I think so. I think a writer walked into the studio and decided to change it though.
Always got to change the lyrics.
Because the guy that helped her write the lyrics was actually one of those guys, one of those LA scarf guys, and he took offense to it. So he's like, nah.
The guy that like wrote, I think it was like the guy that like wrote on that album, the recording school, I was at and like spoke.
He spoke at the school. Did you go?
Yeah. Well, like it was like a mandatory class. So, you know, everyone's sitting there like listening to you talk, and I was like, wow, it's pretty inspirational, actually.
Nice.
What's his name? Like Glenn Ballard or something?
Glenn Ballard. I've heard that name. He's a big songwriter.
Yeah, I think he did stuff like on the Alanis Morissette album.
Speaking of doing stuff on albums, Joe, I was just talking about. I mentioned that you. I think this is your biggest credit so far. You mixed the Lasers album by Lupe Fiasco, and I know for a fact a lot of people that listen to this podcast fuck with Lupe heavy.
Yeah, I'd say that's like one of my most proudest achievements probably as far as my career goes. Yeah, it was it was awesome to like get to work with someone that you like respect as a person and their music, and then like getting to work side by side with them. It was awesome.
And you guys maintain a friendship to this day, right?
Yeah, man. Like he's off doing his own thing now. Like he's in his hand in so many different ventures. Like he's got clothing line. He's got like label like the artists that he signed, and he's got like other bands and DJ duos. So he's all over the place. Like he's like doing lots of different stuff.
Oh shit.
But yeah, like I hit him up before before I left the country, like a few months back, and like we had like a long talk just about Australia because I knew he'd been there, and I was going, and he was just like talking. He loves Australia, so he was like saying all the positive stuff, and he was right. Australia was the shit.
And what was it? What was the reason that you were going to Australia?
Oh, it was like I was working with that dude Jason Derulo, and he had a TV show out there. It was like a dance competition show, and he was like one of the like team captains.
Oh, no shit.
And so, and we're like in the middle of recording his album, and it was like, well, we could take all this time off and be like Mad Behind or record out there. So we ended up just recording out there.
So he was like a judge or whatever on the show, and he was doing the fucking rigorous sessions like you talked about.
Yeah.
He's a hard-working dude, huh?
That's his work ethic. Like, that dude works as hard as you can every day. Like, we didn't take like many days off this year.
You know what, Joe? You know what? I have a lot of people that listen to this show, listen to this podcast that are in Australia, and you told me something about Jason Derulo that I didn't know, and it'd be interesting to get some email. Yeah, it'd be interesting if you're from Australia. Confirm this via email. According to Joe, Jason Derulo is like super, super, super big in Australia. Like he's pretty big here, but like he could totally walk into a store and nobody would know who he was. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of low profile.
Out there, it's like a different story.
No shit.
Like, and it's just like you could see like even the level like establishments treated like all of us just because we were with them. It was like totally different. Like I'd never been like in a situation like that. It was like pretty cool.
Did you get any of his like leftover vagina? You know what I mean?
No leftover vagina from that camp.
You know, like the kind of you know what I'm saying though, like the kind of vagina that like kind of vagina that sounded cool, that like a roadie gets, or you know, like like on the if you're on tour, like the live sound guy, maybe the monitor tech, the drum tech. You know what I mean?
No. Like
when fucking,
I mean, there's like girls around just 'cause like, you know, girls are gonna be attracted to like success like that.
Right.
But I mean, he's got like a girlfriend, so he's like with her.
Right. So even more side pussy that he can't accept.
Yeah, but he's got other people in the crew that dominate that role way faster than I do. No, I was looking at like the local coffee shop girl out there. She was like fine, but we actually we were supposed to be out there for 2 months, and we ended up being out there for like it was like 2 weeks in a day, or was it even like a week in a day or something like that? It was really quick. We got turned around real quick. So I slacked. I was like, I got time. And nope. You're leaving. And I was like, no.
How was the actual work like? What was like the work like? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, it was as far as the work goes, it's same as always. Getting in the studio, recording ideas, seeing what ideas turn into songs. Then like sending it back to the producer, getting feedback, and, going back and forth like that. It was the same as always.
Right.
But we found like a dope studio out there. This place, Ginger Studios in Melbourne. That place, like, as far as I can tell, that place is like the only studio in Australia that can compete with like LA studios.
Right.
Like every other place, I guess, just is like old rock studio that hasn't been like updated recently.
So what would that have? Just like an old board? Maybe they're still using tape machines more, or what?
I mean, just like old computers that like can't even like open the sessions right.
Right.
Like today's computers versus even computers that were only like a couple years ago. It's crazy how fast computers can get now.
It's fucking ridiculous. The fucking the quickness as far as the growth of technology. Like we were talking about this last night. Like a BlackBerry now looks like what a flip phone used to look like. It just looks like this old dated piece of shit. And I swear 2 years ago, it was like the phone everybody had.
Yeah.
Not that has anything to do with the studio.
The world ran on that shit.
Right.
Like the business world ran on the BlackBerry. Now it's just like they're fitting in some landfill somewhere. Like,
yeah, exactly. I
Getting
guess they could
ready to
could they
pollute the
reuse those parts? I don't know. Can they reuse BlackBerry parts, like recycle them somehow, or that shit just that's just
I
in the
hope so.
dirt?
I mean, I know tons of people don't send them to like the proper, channels. They just like, oh, whatever, throw it in the trash.
Right.
Like, people, lots of expensive things have become also disposable.
Yeah, dude. What was it? Me and you talking about? Somebody said some shit about like the cell phone that the president had like 10 years ago is now like the shittiest cell phone that only somebody in like a fucking third world country would have, something like that. It's just crazy how fast it is.
I was just watching a documentary today. Like right when I woke up, I saw that some dude posted on Facebook. It was about like resonance of all frequencies. It was some like deep shit, but like they were talking about there's an estimated 4 billion people on the planet that have a cell phone.
Jesus, what is there? 7 total? 7 billion total?
Yeah, like around 7 billion. I think it's like either right below 7 billion or.
How's anybody How's anybody possibly gonna get in touch with the other 3?
Right. But like 3 billion. That's like consistent of children below 8 years old and
senior citizens, people that are still tribal.
Yeah. So like the majority of the world has a cell phone now.
That's fucking crazy, man. I was just before I called you, I was talking about just smartphones in general, and I think we were talking about last night. It's become fucking stupid to ask somebody a question because you literally have any piece of information you could possibly ever want at your fingertips.
Like the debate killer, like you're saying, like
yeah.
All you gotta do is just look it up. Like
there's no who sang that song. Nah, they sang that song. There's none of that.
Yeah.
So what else? So what are you doing right now? You still at your crib?
Yeah, I'm plugging all my stuff and getting ready to head down.
Or yeah, well, you take your time. What we're doing right now is the reason why I told you to be a little late because I had. Yeah, it takes me a long time to go through all the emails and do this podcast and shit, and then I do it in Pro Tools, so I have to bounce it out in real time too.
Oh god, so it takes like an hour anyway to bounce.
Yep. Have you talked to Dom today?
No, I haven't. I was just about to hit him up and say, hey, drag your feet. It's gonna be a little late.
Well, don't ever tell him that, dude. You don't have to tell him that.
He just won't come.
No, yeah, you don't have to tell Dumb to drag his feet. I'll say it. Well, relatively publicly on this podcast, however public that is. Dumbfounded is just a late dude. If you tell him to be somewhere at a certain time, he'll be there 2 hours after that. I mean, he'll if it's like something where it's like an event where he has to be there on time, and like he's not gonna do that at his shows or nothing. But he's a fucking chronically late dude.
When we were mixing the album in Echo Park, he was pretty punctual.
Right, he's good in certain situations, yeah, but not. Yeah. Trust me, just don't call him and tell him to be late, because he'll be late.
All
right, cool, man. Well, shit, fucking, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I got to give you that documentary I watched today. That shit's awesome.
Is it a conspiracy documentary?
No, not at all. It's like scientific. It's about like the resonance of the Earth and like. I'll show you later. It's fucking madness. All
right, cool, man. Well, shit. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people out there? Anything? Do you have stuff that you want? Do you plug stuff? Do you plug your Twitter? Do you plug your website or anything like that?
No.
You get all your work through word of mouth.
Yeah, just like do a good job and hopefully someone sees that.
Right, just like we were talking about the other day, being an audio engineer, the way you get your work is really no different than if you're like a landscaper. Somebody just be like, "Who did this album?" It was Joe. Like, who did your bushes? Like whatever.
Yeah.
That's what's up, though. Well, I give you nothing but praise. You're killing it on my shit. By the way, everybody out there, Joe also mixed "Take the Stairs," Dumb's last album, and that shit sounds awesome. So if you need to if you need a good engineer. I mean, that I'd say your Twitter. That ends Joe. ThatengJoe. I'll say it. So hit him up, follow him, and ask him questions about compression and equalization.
All right, cool.
All right, Joe. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, later.
All right. Joe Peluso. mixer extraordinaire, recording artist. And when I say recording artist, I don't mean it in the way that they say recording artist Rihanna. I mean he's an actual artist in the art of recording shit. And he really fucking knows what he's doing, man. And he got in the game really early. He went to record. He didn't finish high school. He was in recording school by the time he's 17. In LA, I'm telling you, people out there, like, if you're having trouble, if you're trying to do music shit, you're trying to be an audio engineer, you're trying to be an actor, blah, 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 this is the fucking place to be. There's so much fucking opportunity in LA, and people just don't see it, and people like me that are from small town places, we're very impressed by it. At least I'm very impressed by it, because where I'm from, like I've said on this podcast before, where I'm from, like, being on the screen, or having your album in a store, or being on CNN or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? That seems like being in a different planet. Like, that's just some other shit. But you come to LA and all that shit is possible. It's just an industry just like anything else. It takes a lot of people to run the entertainment business, and there's a shitload of jobs you could possibly get. Graphic design shit. You could be a porn star if you want. Come to LA. I'm gonna get this recording situation straight. Unplug this phone shit. All right. Alright, so that was Call Someone and Fuck With Them with my boy Joe Peluso. Let's get into some shout-outs. I got a bunch of shout-outs this week. I got a lot of fucking emails. Thanks for all your emails. And here's some shout-outs. Shout-out to Jesse W., Blake the drummer from Minnesota, Bert the dentist, which is now just Bert the Dent, Carla the stay-at-home mom, Michael W., Dan R. from Baltimore, Chris from Greece, who is turning 16 this Sunday. Happy early birthday to you, Chris. Also, happy birthday to Jameson G. here on 12/12/12. His birthday is today, which is 12/12/12. Interesting. At 12/12/12, 12/12/12 today, I actually noticed that was going on, and I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know why. It doesn't mean anything. Terrell, the hockey player, Danielle C., David C. Oh, to Danielle C., David C. loves you and wishes the best for you. Oh, isn't that cute? So Danielle C., just know that. Jose Luis. Brennan, who doesn't like the DJ ski drops on Scrub Life. And as I said in the email that I responded to Brennan with, if you didn't like the DJ ski drops on Scrub Life, you should have heard how it was when I originally got it back from DJ Ski. There was a million more drops, and there was fucking air horns, pew pew pew, like all over the place. So he had to take out a bunch of shit. So I could talk about that. Mixtape drops, man. That's it. I don't know. That's an interesting topic too. Like, I don't really know the point of them. But yeah, I say that as they were on my own mixtape. But Nick J with the intro jingle. He sent me like a sped up Kanye style sample from the jingle. I'll play that maybe next week. Well, there's another one too, but I'll play that sometime soon. Nick J. Lance from Australia. Michael J. Nia from Baltimore. J.H. Happy birthday to Callum from Perth. Shout out to Angus in Australia. A great Australian name, just like Angus Young, the guitar player from the almighty AC/DC. Danny in Denver. Jeff D. with the DMX Rudolph video. Alicia. Mike W. Chris M. Josh T. who sent a jingle. James M. That was the one you heard today from Josh T. The genre bending jingle. And I really have no idea what genre that jingle was today. So good for you, Josh T. You got something going on there where you're fucking doing some unique shit. James M. who also sent a jingle that was funny as shit. I'll probably play that next week, or I don't know which one I'll play next week, but one of them. JZG in Serbia. Mike N. in Colorado. Victor S. Beth in Boston. Wings of Redemption. I don't know if Wings actually listens to this show, but Wings of Redemption is a gamer that has many fucking hits and whatnot on YouTube. He's a real fucking cool dude, and for years and years now he's been promoting my music, and I really appreciate him for that. And this week he had me on a podcast that he's on called the PKA Podcast, Painkiller Already, and it was real fun. Him and his boys are funny as shit. So thanks to all you guys for having me on, and it got me a lot of new fans too, man. It's crazy. Roy in Cathedral City. Jared B, Adrian M, Emad, I don't know how to pronounce your name, man. I'm sorry. It's E-M-A-D, Emad from England. Cameron in Spokane, Yassine, Aaron A. from London, Mike M. with the always good advice, TJL, Aaron the violinist, Riddle, Stephanie in Phoenix, Ryan M., who sent me yet another dope song this week. You're a talented dude, Ryan M. You should keep doing what you're doing. Timmy Too Hard. Timmy Too Hard from London. Teddy P, James B, and all the other people. Oh, James B and all the other people who gave me some great British hip-hop suggestions. Last week on the show, I talked about how I didn't know shit about British hip-hop. I actually realized I didn't give myself enough credit. I knew some of the artists people recommended to me. But now I'm more familiar, and I'm actually going to go back and listen tonight to a lot more of that shit because I liked a lot of that shit. Maverick, Khan, Ben K, Ali in the UK, and Janny. So that's the shout-outs for this week, and that kind of gives you an idea of how many emails I get. And I try to respond to as many as I can. As long as you don't fucking... I don't care if you diss my music, but if you say some fucked up shit, I might just not respond. But, all right. All right, so let's get to some questions here. First question. This is from Dookie something. All right, yo, Wax, can't wait for the new album, man. I got a question for you, Wax. I'm single and I've been consistently thinking about needing a girlfriend in my life. Is this something that should worry me, or should I ignore this desire and just live by one of Biggie's songs lines and fuck bitches and get money? Haha, cheers. Interesting question from you, Dookie. First of all, it's going to be hard to get a girlfriend with your name being Dookie, but that could just be something that it's just what your email says, because you didn't really actually say your name here. But, you know, we all think about that. We all think, like, you know, it'd be good to have a girlfriend. I know I think about it. Sometimes I think about it in really asshole-ish ways, like when I'm doing my laundry and I wish I had a girl that was doing it. But, you know, of course we all want sex and shit like that. But I think that if you go around, I know a lot of people who pretty much like their life goal is they just go around and seek someone of the opposite sex. They're constantly looking for that quote-unquote the one. And usually those are the people that either don't find them or they find the wrong one, because if they find one, they just assume that that's the one. So I wouldn't make it your life goal. That's my advice to you. I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. The shit'll just happen. This one is from, damn, what? I must have forgot to get people's names, but this is Thato. Hey Wax, I love your music. Limousine. I'm reading a lot of praise on this one, huh? Limousine changed my life, and stay off my Facebook made me delete mine. Well, good for you. Get off that social media. It's nothing but trouble. You're also I don't really mean that. I like social media because I'm a musician and shit, but I can see how you can get in a lot of trouble with the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all that. You're also the reason I started rapping. Enough with the praise now. Well, I appreciate the praise, man. Have you ever considered coming to South Africa for the Continue tour? You're huge out here, man, and bring Dumb, please. It's a great place, and you're big here, and tell Dumb Take the Stairs was excellent. Well, I'm going to see Dumb tonight, and I will tell him you said that, Thado. And also, at what age did you first smoke weed? I first smoked weed in 8th grade, so I was probably 13. I didn't know that. I don't know. Maybe you and your friends have heard of me down there in South Africa, but I don't know that I'm necessarily quote unquote huge out there. But if the right thing comes along, I would fucking absolutely love to come to South Africa. That'd be fucking great. And I'm gonna say fucking about 8 times in every fucking sentence I fucking say. Next question. This one is from Jaul Rustis from Mianis. Yo, the podcast fucking sucks. Yes, some non-praise. Now that we got that out the way, let me ask you a question. In your professional opinion, do you think that the plot in Home Alone is realistic? And should the kid have been tried for attempted murder or aggravated assault? I want you to be brutally honest. I think you could really shed some light on this issue. Shit, I didn't really think about this one. I think the reason I decided to answer this question is just because you said, yo, the podcast sucks at the beginning. The plot in Home Alone. Yeah, I guess he did do some pretty crazy shit. I mean, when that heavy-ass paint can swung down and hit the guy in the head, I suppose that could be considered attempted murder. I mean, a paint can like that swinging down you is pretty heavy, and it could probably bash your skull in. I wouldn't say that the nail on the stair is attempted murder, and it could be considered aggravated assault. I don't know, but I mean, it's not illegal because they were trying to break into his house, and from what I've heard, if somebody tries to break into your property, it's actually self-defense, and you can even go as far as to just shoot the motherfucker. So cheers to America. I don't know, fucking that's the way it is. So no, of course I don't think it's necessarily realistic, but I think it's a great movie, which I haven't seen in a long time, and I don't really know why you asked me about it, to be honest with you. But cheers to you, Raul Justice. Shout out to Raul Justice, by the way. He didn't email me this week, but I meant to shout him out every week. This one is from Chris from the shitty state of Iowa. First of all, Chris, I don't agree with you. I think Iowa's a great state. I actually make an Iowa reference on my new album. Yo, Wax, I want to add a little electric violin to your band. Been playing since I was 9 years old. I'm now 20 years old, so I guess that makes it 11 years. Hit me up if you want some badass string slaying on your tracks. Well, I will do that, man. Send me another email, and send me an email with some links to you playing or some music that you've done. Because like I said, anybody's welcome. Cocaine Casserole, man. It's coming in 2013. And if you play an electric violin, I think that fucking sounds perfect for Cocaine Casserole. You need to be able to play it at a really fast speed. Well, maybe not, because I'd have to keep up with you on guitar, so maybe you don't have to play it at that fast of a speed, but you got to wail, bro. Damn, and if you plug that electric violin to if you put it through like a cool envelope filter and just made it super funky and crazy, that could be some next level funk. All right, my friend, this is the question though. My friend is dating this girl who is very conservative and religious. They have been dating for almost a year now. She's a really nice person and everything, and I think they are a good couple. However, because of her religion, she won't have sex with him. She will blow him and told him she will have anal sex with him, but not vaginal sex. Somehow, I guess anal sex is okay with her religion, but not vaginal sex. I can tell my friend is kind of like, what the fuck as well. What's your take on the situation? Should he just dive into the poop chute without question? Or maybe he should just slam it in her vagina and see what she does. That's a really funny sentence. Are you suggesting that he rapes her and sees what happens? I don't know, and I can tell it is affecting my friend, so your help is greatly appreciated. Thanks, Wax. Keep doing what you do. Chris from the shitty state of Iowa. This just furthers my opinion that I've already stated various times on this podcast, that most organized religion is pretty much psycho to me. I would argue that anal sex is much further and weirder. I mean, it's not weird, but it's definitely, I think it's a step further than vaginal sex. I think that most people would agree with me. I just don't see how she can possibly like justify that. It's just some further dumb shit that goes along with religion. And I've heard that with a lot of Christian girls will basically be like anal sluts. Like they'll fuck all kind of people but it's only in their ass. And to me that seems even fucking weirder than the vaginal one. I don't know. But no, I don't think he should just slam it into her vagina and see what she does. Although I would like to see that in a porn. That would be what the email that you're talking about is actually kind of a cool description of a screenplay for what could be an interesting pornographic film. So thanks, Chris. This next one is from Ben M. Sup, Wax? I've been a big fan of for years and been listening to your music for a while now. Well, I appreciate you listening, Ben. And I got a new album coming out in January 15th, called Continue. And it's going to be an interesting album. It's going to be some musical shit, man. I think you guys are going to like it. I'm a big fan of yours. I already read that part. Rereading the praise. A few months back, I introduced your music to my sister Allison, and she loved it. Now she's probably your biggest fan and no doubt wants to have your babies, which is great because it means I have someone who I can discuss your music with. Unfortunately, Allison is the same girl from the previous email, and just so she knows, she can't have my babies anally. Here's the thing, she's in a really shitty relationship right now with a huge cunt who has her convinced that she's a piece of shit. Anything that makes her happy right now can only be a good thing, and I'm sure it would mean a lot to her if you could give her a birthday shout out on an upcoming podcast. She's going to be 24 in December. Well, happy birthday to you, Allison. You're 24 now. You got to figure out what you're going to do with your life. Do you want to be with this guy fucking forever? In fact, if you wanted, you could read. In fact, that was me just talking. This is the continuation of him writing. In fact, if you wanted to, you could read this on your advice segment if you have any ideas on how we can convince her that she doesn't need this piece of shit she's with. He's having a hugely destructive effect on her life, and I'm worried it could end up with her losing her job. She's an art teacher, and he calls her at work to give her shit, as well as one of her closest friends, who he doesn't let her talk to anymore. That's a red flag right there. I realize that you can't abide every request you get, so if this goes in the no pile, thanks for taking the time to read it. I hope you come to England soon. I knew you were from England because you called a man a cunt. That's usually a British thing. It would be awesome to come to one of your shows. Thanks for all the great music. P.S. I didn't really like Toothbrush, just in case you thought I was kissing your ass too much. Well, I appreciate the honesty. I know a lot of people didn't like Toothbrush because it was kind of like a nice little happy, softer song. But you know what? This is the thing. When you make music, you just got to do what you like, and there's no way that you can ever please everybody. So I have no problem with you not liking Toothbrush. I have no problem with a lot of people not liking Toothbrush. Everything I've done, some people don't like and some people do like. But what I focus on now, especially with all the shit I've been through in the record industry and with the way that they push songs on you and they try to, well, you end up doing some things that you might not believe in. I'm from now on, I just make shit that I like, and I fucking love Toothbrush. So you know, you can't please everybody. But anyway, back to the thing that you had been talking about. If your sister, she's 24 and she's an art teacher, she's probably like a sweet chick, you know? And sometimes chicks like that are the kind who kind of get walked all over. And it sounds like that's what this dude is doing to her. As far as how to convince her that he's a piece of shit, maybe what you should do is make a list. Just make a list of all the shit that makes him a piece of shit. And while he's not there, obviously, present her with this list. And say the shit in a very calm way, and as if you're just having a debate about something normal. Not try to keep it as non-emotional as possible, and just present this to her. Well, he calls you at work to give you shit. 1, 2. You remember your closest friend, whatever her name is? He doesn't even let you talk to her. I think that's your number one flag is when you're the person you're in a relationship with doesn't let you hang out with any of your friends. I've seen that shit happen a million times. But you know, the whole love and everything, that's a powerful force. So it's kind of hard to break up some of these destructive relationships. I think some people kind of like being walked on like that. I don't know, man. So that's my advice. My advice is to make a list of all the things that makes him a cunt, like you say that he is. And hopefully I will come to England soon. And you know what I'm going to do when I get there? I'm going to give you a free fucking front row ticket, and we're going to play Toothbrush 20 times in a row. And I'm gonna blame it on you. I'm gonna point to you. I'm gonna be like, this is Ben. This was his request. He just wanted us to play this a bunch of times, and he gave us a bunch of money. So he fucked up the show for everybody. So if you see him outside, why don't you give this cunt a little ass whipping? It's like, I'm just fucking with you, Ben. I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's my advice to you. I've only got one more question here. This might end up being a shorter podcast, unless I think of something else to talk about at the end, which maybe I very well will. Very well will is kind of a cool phrase. Very well will. Married. Whatever. Hey, this one is from Dan S. Hey, Wax, I already sent you this, but I didn't get an answer, and I could really use some advice. And like I said in the email back to you, Dan, I think the reason I didn't answer this is because it was one of the questions I was going to answer, and I just thought the podcast was getting really long, and I think I skipped this one, so that's why I never gave you any response that time. Hey, Wax, this doesn't actually have to do with bears, but I need some advice. Okay. I've been going out with this girl for about a year now, and she told me she's cheating on me with like 6 other dudes. Jesus Christ. But the thing is, the girl that told me is my girlfriend's ex-girlfriend. Quote, parentheses, she's bisexual. And I'm not sure if she's just jealous and lying to me. So basically, alright, just to get this straight. He's with a girl. The girl's bisexual. He found out from this girl's ex-girlfriend that his current girlfriend is right now cheating on him with 6 other dudes. Okay, continue on. I don't know how to bring it up with my girlfriend without sounding like aggressive and then find out I'm wrong. Is there a good way to go about doing this? Dan S. Alright. P.S. What's with the handlebars on bikes on the West Coast? I'll handle the P.S. after that. That'll be a nice extra time. But as far as your girlfriend who's a bisexual who supposedly is cheating on you with 6 other dudes because you found it out from a girl who is her ex-girlfriend, which is a situation I can't relate to. I can't say that I've ever been in that exact situation before. I don't think many of us have, but it's almost unbelievable. It's like, but maybe you should find out who the other dudes are, and maybe you should ask them. Be like, yo, if any of them your acquaintances, be like, yo, I'm not gonna be mad at you, man. I'm just curious, and just explain to them. It's not like this is just something that this chick told me. Is this true? Is there any truth to this? And maybe you can uncover some more truth that way. If you get an admission of guilt from one of the dudes that she's actually cheating on you with, it's going to be a lot better evidence than the hearsay from her ex-girlfriend. I think a more important thing is, isn't it? I don't know. Dating a bisexual chick would be interesting. I mean, it's one thing to have like the bisexual sexual experiences, but like if she actually has like after she breaks up with you, she might fucking marry a woman. I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. That'd be weird for me. But I'd probably do it at least for a while, just because I like to mix things up, you know. I like to mix it up a little bit in life. How are you ever gonna know what it's like to be with a bisexual chick if you don't go out there on a limb and try it? That being said, there's certain things I won't do, but that's probably something I would do. So that's what I would recommend for you to do. I'd talk to one of the other dudes, see if you can find out any information. If you don't even know who the dudes are, ask the ex-girlfriend, who are these dudes? If she can't tell you who they are, she's probably lying. So that's my advice to you, Dan S. P.S. What's with the handlebars on bikes on the West Coast? I took a trip to LA recently and also watched the Two Wheels video, and I noticed all the bikes are like that. But here on the East Coast, none are like that. I'm assuming that you're just basically talking about the beach cruiser bicycle, which I'm from the East Coast, and it's very uncommon to see a beach cruiser bicycle. If you were a dude with one of those kind of bicycles, you might even get made fun of a little bit. If you lived in Baltimore or somewhere like that, you might get made fun of riding around on a beach cruiser, but nah, that's the common bike out here. I don't really know why. Some things just are. I don't know the history of beach cruiser bicycles. I've never done any research on beach cruiser bicycles. I can say they're very easy to ride, and they're it's a very relaxing ride. You don't have to worry about fucking being uncomfortable or anything like that. Not that other bikes are super uncomfortable. I guess some of those bikes that like Lance Armstrong type dudes ride, where you have to be totally hunched over in a 90-degree angle, riding around looking like a question mark, that seems a little uncomfortable, but I don't know. I don't know the history of beach cruisers, and I don't know why in LA people ride them. I can tell you that in the movie Friday, it was a beach cruiser that was the bike that Debo stole from I can't remember the guy's name, that Debo ended up fucking the dude up. That was in the scene where Smokey said, "You got knocked the fuck out." But it was a beach cruiser, and then Debo was like, "My bike." Okay. Oh, you got a PPS. I think you should try to tour with Warped Tour again, and do all the shows. If not, next time you go on tour, come to Connecticut on an all-ages concert, because I was really disappointed that you didn't come to Hartford last year. I will try to do that, man. It's hard to book. It's hard to book everywhere. You know, like a lot of times, if it's it's kind of like I said in a previous podcast. Some cities are fucking spoiled. New York City and Los Angeles and Chicago, Chicago being third. They're the most spoiled. I always play in New York. I almost always, when I come to the East Coast, I almost always play in Philly, because I just fucking, I don't know, I love playing at that venue, that upstairs venue at the Trocadero there. It's just so much fun. And I usually play in Baltimore, because that's my home area there. And maybe this time I'll switch it up and play in D.C. instead of Baltimore. But I will be touring this spring. We're actually trying to route the shit now. The places I'm trying to go, I think it's going to be a West Coast joint and then an East Coast joint. But this time I'm actually going to try to get down to the South. Like I want to do something in like Charlotte. I want to do something in Atlanta. I even want to do something in Miami, Tampa, Orlando. I want to go through Florida this time. I've never. Well, my old band played a couple shows in Florida, but as myself, I've never played in Florida, or really that part of the South, just Texas and shit. Maybe New Orleans, something like that. And beyond that, after that's done, it's very, very likely, like I say every podcast, this year I will be in Australia, in the UK, and in Germany. So just stay tuned to the podcast. Like I say, the podcast comes first. I want to start having some type of like And maybe I can think of something, because I'm working on like merch and shit for when my album comes out on the 15th. Like we're working on all the art, and for the physical copies, I think I'm gonna have like the first couple hundred of them or something like that. I'm gonna autograph them. We're probably gonna have some type of deluxe package you can buy, and I want to have some kind of way that I can do something where like people that listen to this podcast get some type of information before anybody else does, and have some type of advantage. I don't know what the fuck that would be, but I'll try to think of something. Until then, I'm just gonna try to finish this shit. Good news is except the song that doesn't exist yet that I want to do with Dumbfounded, which is the only thing that's the only thing that I'm missing. Everything else I've already written and recorded. So it's sounding really good. It's gonna be it's gonna be some musical shit. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of rhyming, and every song is a rap song, but except this one song. But it's not just beats and rhymes, man. I put a lot of work into it, and whether you like this album or not, if you listen to it, you will understand me. You know, it's definitely like it definitely tells a story about where I'm at and where I've been. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. January 15th. Continue, and I think that's gonna be it for this podcast. I usually like to get right in an hour. It's a little short. And I'm not going to ramble for the next 3 minutes just because I want it to be a certain length of time. And I also don't have anything to ramble about, really. And I got other things to do, y'all. I got to finish this album. I got to make some phone calls. I got to return some emails. And, that's it. That's it. That's fucking it. Be safe out there. Oh, shit. Usually I get the, yeah, be safe out there.